Is everybody in? Is everybody in? The show is about to begin.
Welcome to the podcast, Conscience That Made Us. Interviews and stories, tales from the bus. We love taking you back to when it all went down. The greatest live shows and that cheering crowd sound. It's concerts that made us, concertsthatmadeus.com.
Hello, everyone. We're Chase The Comet. My name is Nika.
My name is Alex.
And you're listening to
Concerts That Made Us.
Nika and Alex, you're very welcome to Concerts That Made Us.
Thank you so much.
hello there.
I feel like we have a lot to talk about. I mean, you guys, aside from the new album, you guys have a pretty interesting story. Back in 2016, you took the brave decision to leave your successful music career in Russia behind to try achieve the American dream. First of all, tell us about your careers back in Russia.
It was pretty interesting. I'll start. So apart from having a band together with Nika, Nika was the singer and I played the guitar. The band was called My Rock Band at the time. We also were parts of some different projects and bands. For instance, I played for a band called Jack Action, and with this band we opened up for Metallica, Muse, Linkin Park, Guana Apes, Hollywood Undead, etc., etc. So it was pretty huge back then in terms of
Still
like,
is, huh?
it is. I mean, in terms of like playing live shows and gaining some experience as a musician, like huge audiences, huge venues. And Nika was she was doing the backing vocals for another pretty big band, pretty big
But
punk rock band, Russian, yeah,
Russian
called
band.
Tarakani. So we thought at that time that it's going great right now, so why not explore some new territories? This
Yeah.
is why we felt brave enough and we felt encouraged enough to go to the United States and see what's there for us.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course we had some movements with our bands, different
Yeah,
bands.
sure.
We took part in a TV project, back in the day. Remember, they were popular, like musical TV projects. So we took part in one of those projects. There was a project for solo artists first in 2007, and then the next was for bands, actually. So we went to the finals, but I can't say this really like worked fantastically for us. It was mostly, experience, and then we have always been that type of band that had to move themselves. They had to like do all the things. Like, we have never had a manager. We have never had people who would do all the work for us. So we had to be, those musicians who
Our own managers.
Yeah, exactly. It's not that you only like write music and songs and then perform and get to like talk to the fans. No, you actually have to do the hard work.
Yeah.
Book tours, you have to post on your socials. Well, now
I guess
right?
this is what many musicians of these days of nowadays don't know about, is that you have to put in so much work, so much hard work.
Well,
It's
nowadays they actually do know.
Yeah, they do, but it's still some people live in a dream that if you write some good songs and if you write some good tunes and melodies, this is it. You're good. Like, everything is gonna happen for you in the best possible way. But turns out you have to work really hard. And one part of your brain is the creative brain, and another part of your brain is like the technical brain, the marketing part of the brain and stuff. So you got to learn many things in order to go on with your career and with your band. So it's like we had a lot of things to explore and to cover up. Yeah.
I could imagine. And when you guys got to the States, then what sort of challenges did you face in getting your music heard?
Oh man, it was very difficult because well, first of all, we pretty much didn't know anyone.
We were classical immigrants,
Yeah. So we knew like literally, a few people from back in Moscow. Obviously they were Russian speaking. And it really helped us, but we didn't have money. We didn't have connections. We didn't have musicians to play in our band, right? Because we've always been band people, and, we're lucky to have each other, right? And, it's worth noting that we first started playing together and only then we started dating, right? And then, and only then later, like, down the road we got married, and we're still together in all ways, but we still needed to find people who would play drums and bass.
It's basically about starting over again, like from scratch. Like but we were lucky to have the material, so we had the songs, we had the backing track, the computer, so what we needed was a drummer and a bassist, and we found two Russian-speaking people at first.
I would say, to kind of like, long story short, to sum it up, I would say the challenge was finding the musicians that would match our level, because once you go perform at arenas and you're like the top-notch musician in your country, and then in America obviously you can't afford to pay top-notch musicians to play in your band, right? So you have to find that perfect balance of like people who are ready to invest their time into the band and who are good at the same time. So that was the first challenge music wise. And then in all other fields, I would say, of course, the challenge was, to get legal, right? Which the biggest challenge, and which lasted up until 2020.
Yeah.
Well, actually, even later, because like it took us years to get legal. And what happened to us, again, like a few years in, we learned that we had been out of status. So unintentionally, we became illegal immigrants, and we didn't even know about that. Yeah. And that was something that we learned when it had been it had been 2 years and nothing was moving, and we had been working with a lawyer, and then an investor was interested in working with us, so obviously we needed to sign an agreement, and we would to make the money back, right? So for that, we would need to be able to legally work in the United States. And that was the moment when we had to find a new lawyer, and they told us like, oh, you guys had been illegal for quite a while now. So imagine the shock.
Oh my God.
So yeah, the second you leave the country, you're going to face the 10 years ban from entering the country. So it's like we were very stressed out because of that. And at the same time, we were doing good, like musically in the United States. So we were touring, we had a solid band, we had a nice live performance, like visual wise, like the lyric videos on stage and like lights, everything. So we were a professional band who would love to go on tour and perform, and take it to the next level, but our legal status was against us.
Yeah, so of course, to pay for all the legal expenses, you need to work and like invest money both in the legal questions and into the band, and to provide for yourself, like we all do, right? Like rent and food, all that stuff. So I would say like these were the three biggest challenges, and they were all intertwined and connected to each other. And the problem was also that since we were illegal, we didn't have a right to work legally. And that also limited our opportunities and our options work wise, right? But we were still able to find those options, and thanks to all the amazing people, both people in LA who helped us to survive, and told the fans who who supported us both financially and just like sharing our music and listening to our music. I think that was the best drive behind all these unimaginable just like pushes all the time that we had to do. I'm not sure we can even go through that again ever, but it
has formed us, I'd say, and shaped us the way we are right now, right?
I don't know. Sometimes it seems like I'm broken to beyond repair.
This is the price you pay for your sense of curiosity. And I mean, like, we could have stayed in Russia. We could have, be doing what we were doing. And, it's like we were just super curious and eager and hungry to go and explore and see what's next, because we were obviously big fans of American culture, like music and movies, and especially California, Los Angeles. It was a big dream, so we went for it. And this is the price, I guess.
Have you ever been to California?
No, actually, I've never been to the States. I'm dying to get over there at some stage.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
We were trying to.
It's the same kind of thing, though. We're so exposed to American culture over here,
especially the language. It gets you closer to the culture.
Yeah.
Because we had to learn it, especially me. Nika was great at English, like natural, and I struggled a lot.
Let's not remove the facts, right? I am a certified interpreter. I speak 3 languages. Well, actually 4 now, but still, it was that learning curve, which happens anyway, even if you know the language, even if people who come to another country knowing the language and actually speaking it, it's still a different culture.
Sure.
And it's still that, effort that you have to take to just build your life from scratch, differently, right? Because of course you reproduce what you had already had, right? And we noticed it was crazy how like we basically reproduced what we had before in Moscow. And then I remember we had a falling out about that when I told him, like, you're not coming to a different country to reproduce what you had already had. You are coming
somewhat better. Yeah.
You have to like understand you achieve a certain level, and then you have to figure out how you can move on and build upon what you have already, learned. Right? So for us, I guess the next level was starting to travel and become some kind of like the musicians of Bremen. I don't know if you have heard.
No.
Well, it's something that I thought was coming like from like German tales.
Just the traveling musicians,
Grimm brothers. Yeah. So anyway, like the musicians that travel and that are not like linked to a certain place, because that's what has always scared us, to be that one person who like works 9 to 5 and only plays in a band, for holidays, or like to get to
the garage.
Yeah, in the garage, and plays a show like once in 6 months. And don't get me wrong, I don't see anything bad in it for other people who
it's cool.
Who are happy.
That is your goal. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, like if people are happy and they're doing it for fun and that's enough for them.
Just
I'm
for us,
jealous.
the life happened the way that we saw so many great things in music, especially when you share the stage with Linkin Park or Muse or Metallica, and you see how big you've already gotten in this field, in this area. You want this to go on. You want this to be growing, and you
want those
expanding
audiences to be yours.
Yeah, to be yours. Not just because you open up for such great bands, but because you've achieved something yourself, and this audience is yours. Yeah, Nika's right. It's like there's a guy, the theater director Stanislavski, the Russian guy, and he once said, it's not the direct quote, but like once you felt the, what is it called,
the stage dust,
the stage dust, are addicted to it. So it's like it's impossible to forget about it. So like this is like a drug, you get addicted.
That's for sure. And something I'm intrigued by, and something I know my listeners and viewers will be intrigued by, is something we never get exposed to over here. Is what is the Russian music scene like? Is it very vibrant? Is it similar to the American music scene?
It's interesting because as of now, I am as a blogger. I am
okay, let me do the introduction.
Sure. Go ahead.
So last year, Alex, there was a series about a Russian band that inspired Alex to create his own band back in, back in the days.
Years ago.
Yeah, million years ago. So he recorded a video about the series, like just a short
review.
Yeah, just a short review, like mistakes in this series, because he's a hardcore fan. And so that started his YouTube channel, which has now gained almost 50,000 subscribers.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And well, that's his biggest resource as a Russian-speaking blogger, right? He is now making videos, like he does all types of videos for that channel, musical videos, and he talks about different bands. But of course, the core is that one band that inspired him in the scene. So now Alex is going to tell you a little bit more about
it brings me the most of my traffic, but also like all of a sudden I was so pissed and annoyed by the fact that here in Tashkent everyone plays covers. Like you don't get to see any original music here, because like doesn't matter where you go, you see the cover bands, like one place or another. And I got so pissed that I officially announced that you guys can send me over your music and I'm gonna share it on my platform, because I'm so fucking pissed of like hearing Wicked Game or some It's My Life by Bon Jovi.
They're not the worst.
Great song. Great
song. There's some more like Russian songs that Alex hates more.
Yeah, but I'm tired of hearing this, and I want to hear something new, something something different, and this is what I've been doing for the last like 2 weeks. I think I've worked with maybe 12 or 13 bands as of now, and they are very diverse, like different genres, different quality of the music. But what I can say is that it's grown, the quality. So like back in maybe early 2000s, when I was a teenager, the quality of the music was like worse, obviously, right? Now bands they know how to record themselves, how to mix themselves and master and stuff. But I mean, it's pretty interesting. It gets me back to my not childhood,
years.
teen years, yeah, when I was exploring some new bands,
when we were just starting.
yeah. And I love it, and I love giving them the platform to be heard and to be seen. Yeah.
So answering your question about the scene, so basically, unfortunately, the majority of the people in Russia listen to the music that was from the early 2000s, the 90s. There's if we're talking about
we call
rock,
it retromania.
yeah. People are obsessed with old stuff, and which is good, but at the same time this creates the problem of not wanting to hear new stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's something that not only happens in Russia and Russian speaking countries, but all over the world nowadays.
Maybe,
but
yeah.
Another thing that is happening right now due to the war, since a lot of artists and also like newer artists that are quite popular both in the rock scene and in the pop scene, a lot of artists spoke out against the war that Russia started against Ukraine, and that's why they were banned in Russia. So that literally killed anything good that could have been happening there, music wise, because now the artists that are on, that are in top charts, those are artists who specifically support the war. And most importantly, what happened recently, there were some artists who didn't say anything, right? They didn't say anything against, or they didn't say anything like pro supporting the war, and they were banned. They were put in the blacklist. Because government is now pushing them to go and support the war if they want to keep performing, if they want to keep staying,
keep their jobs.
Also, this situation has killed the competitiveness.
Yes,
so it's not competitive anymore in terms of like. So Nika was mentioning charts. So it's like type B bands right now in the charts,
if not C,
because all the decent bands, they have left the country. So
yeah, that's what's happening right now. And well, I mean, what can you expect if the best minds have left the country? If the best people who knew something about culture, who knew something about good music, good literature, who traveled the world,
they were just smart enough to see what nightmare this was, and they left immediately.
What we have right now is basically a country of rednecks and prisoners,
pretty much
who and those who are smart, they are just keeping silent because nobody wants to go to jail.
But it's hard to keep silent these days, so they push them to say something like a political statement, so if you're just silent, it's not good enough anymore.
God, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Mind-blowing.
I get the feeling like that's going to end up holding the culture in Russia back like 30 years for a very long time.
That is so true. Yeah.
Jeez. Would you guys ever see yourselves going back and trying to make a go of it?
Not during this regime, dude, because I mean, we have our families back in Russia. We miss them dearly, and it's tough
That's
for us.
partially why we are in Uzbekistan, and we have discussed it before we started recording, right? So Alex mentioned we're in Tashkent.
It's our neutral territory.
Yeah. So we spoke out explicitly against the war and against everything the current political regime is doing, both in Ukraine and to its own citizens, right? Like Alexei Navalny, you have probably heard of him. So at this point, we're the traitors. And to be honest, we're proud to be the traitors of this regime. We're patriots. We would love to see the country where we were born, succeed and develop and grow into this beautiful cultural state. But unfortunately, it's not going to happen anytime soon unless, there's a revolution. And of course, well, we can't do anything, just the two of us. So the minimum we can do is create, our songs, though we have noticed that doesn't really work with people. The people brainwashed by the propaganda, they can't hear any arguments, that are different from what they hear every day on TV. And we just support the good, that's what we're about as musicians, as people. We're on the good side. We're Harry Potter, we're Frodo, Sam.
Against Voldemort.
Exactly. Yeah, we're nerds, and we love to stay just and fair, and that's what we're trying to do, at least, using our small resources, and yeah, trying to do the right thing.
I like it. I suppose we better chat about your new album at some stage. It'd be a bit redundant if we'd done the whole podcast and didn't mention the album. Tell us all the details.
Well, we have just released a new album that is called Illumination, Part 1, Inception. And I think everything that we have discussed so far adds up very nicely to the meaning of the album, to the songs that are on the album. We have one song that was inspired by Alexei Navalny. It's called Hero. We have songs that we wrote, in 2020.
Yeah, so those songs were reflecting on the situation, like the post-COVID era, I'd say. So it's not like we were really talking about the war, because the record was ready in 2021, to be honest. Yeah. And we were just looking for the label to release it, but somehow it speaks with the events that are happening right now today in the world.
Yeah, and our main idea through this album, is to get the listener where they are at right now, which I think we're all kind of going through this, hard time, more or less, right? Going back and forth, like, oh, I think I'm better now. No, I'm still depressed, and everything sucks. So since we're human beings as well, and we're very susceptible to everything that's going on around us, we wanted to share that feeling and like let people know that we, they're not alone, and we feel the same. And then together, by the end of the album, we'll lift them up to giving them, probably a little bit of hope.
Yeah, so you can say we specifically put all our sad songs in the beginning of the record. So it's like you start with a dark mood, but then you lift yourself up towards the light, and this is what our record is about, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's what we're about as a band too, right? Like, things suck.
Yep. And we have to admit it and acknowledge that and just move on from there.
Yeah, and find a way to find that hope, to find that motivation that keeps us moving, that gives us, the ability to enjoy the moment, even though we understand, like bad things happen and they are going to keep happening unless we find something worth living for, unless we find something that makes us happy, at least in the current moment.
The coping mechanism, probably.
Yeah, so that's what the album is about.
Something to keep you sane.
I love that. And when you complete a body of work such as this album, then how do you look back on it in your mind?
It was pretty challenged, I think.
It's very interesting, because after we recorded this album and we did a little bit of label shopping. It was also a long wanted goal, we wanted so much. And by that moment, we felt so burned out by everything that had happened before, and we didn't know like if there was any point in like moving forward at all, with everything happening around us. And then eventually we found Pavement Entertainment, with whom we released this album on March 1st. But before we signed an agreement with them last year, and then we took a break from music. We went to we went to Argentina. We lived in the forests in Colombia, and we were exactly like trying to see if we
still got the juice.
If can move on and do music and do the band and everything.
Because we started very early on in 2005. We were like 15 years old, and since then we were just constantly like making music, performing, seeing what the next record would be, seeing what the next trying to make it what the next piece would be, and stuff like that. So we never really considered like if we wanted to go on like potentially and consciously. So we were just like doing this because we are used to doing this,
half of our lives.
Last year we were taking a break and we were asking ourselves if this is still something we would love to be doing for the rest of our lives.
Well, we don't know about the rest of our lives, but we listened to the album.
I'm pretty positive about the rest of my life. And we're proud. We're proud.
This is the most amazing thing we've done, sound wise, emotion wise, and like meaning wise. And if we want to go on, we 100% should, without trying to reduce ourselves by thinking, we don't have enough views, we only have 800 monthly listeners in Spotify or stuff like that. That doesn't matter, because we decided, well, at least I decided, I don't know about Alex, I don't care how many people appreciate me or not. If they do, amazing, I'm grateful. But what's most important, I'm doing this for myself. And if I don't want to do this anymore, then I won't. And I'm pretty sure you feel the same about podcasting. It matters because you want to do it. You enjoy doing what you do.
It's just liberating. Yeah, if you're honest to yourself, it's just like, it's way easier than you have to live up to someone's expectations and
constantly wait to deserve someone's approval. I want more. More is never enough. There's people with 1 million followers and they still feel lonely because there's people with 100 million followers, right?
Yeah, there's always more you'll want. Yeah. Oh my God. And it's called Concerts That Made Us. So I have to ask you some concert related questions. I'm looking forward to hearing this now. We'll start off easy. As a concert goer, what concerts have made you?
Interesting.
You want to think a little bit? I can start.
Go on. Yeah.
Well, most of the shows we've been to, we went to together, right? Okay. So I would say the concert that definitely made us both is the show that we attended back in 2013. We went to the Honda Civic Center in Anaheim to see Pink in concert. And that she totally blew our minds for me because she is that perfect combination of a woman who keeps her feminine energy, but at the same time she's impudent, and she has that sass, has that male energy. And I think that's something that speaks to me because I feel that I'm very similar to her.
She is also a crazy combination of rock music and pop music, so it's like
exactly,
it's perfect blend.
And then of course the energy that she gives while performing, while flying. We were just
crying when she played the Bohemian Rhapsody. I was crying, man. It was so fucking touching.
It's just such an unimaginable combination of everything you're looking for in a performer. The energy, the kindness, the sound, the professionalism of everybody in that show, right? Not just her, but all the musicians, the singers, the dancers. It was amazing. Seriously, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah.
And of course, if we're talking bands, because
Queen, of course, at Hollywood Bowl.
yes, we got a chance to go to the Queen show in the Hollywood Bowl.
Adam Lamb, the singer, but Brian May was there.
I
Roger Taylor was there, so it's like
that was
two of the band members.
that was definitely a show that impressed me a lot. Adam Lambert is a fantastic vocalist. Like the technicality is amazing. For me, I was lacking a little bit of soul in there.
Right. Okay.
But what I was gonna say about the Foo Fighters show that we went to in Mexico. We specifically flew to Mexico to see the Foo Fighters live while we were in the States. That was also 2013. And well, the show was amazing. That was the first time we saw the Foo Fighters live. We saw them a few more times later. But I think it was mostly just the circumstances, and I think that's what's important. Sometimes it's not the artist that makes the show for us, but it's the circumstances and the sacrifices that we make, like that movie when they went to a Kiss show, I think. Yeah.
Detroit, the Rock of the City of Rock.
Yeah,
Detroit,
something with Detroit when they wanted so badly to get to the Kiss show.
Movies, yeah.
I think it was. And the next day we actually met Dave Grohl and the band when we went to the Pyramids.
Holy crap.
Yeah, because they had a day off.
Taylor Hawkins, and then we also had a picture with him.
Yeah. So I would say that. And then
I'd call that gig that we opened up for Linkin Park, obviously, because I played as a in the band as a guitar player. We opened up, and also I was able to what's the term of this, to bring you in as my guest. So Nika was there, our bassist, who was a huge fan of Linkin Park too, was there, and my mom was there, and my sister was there. So I was able to bring in 4 people, and not only I was enjoying the show, but all my crew, they were enjoying the show. And for them, it was very important, because for Nika and for the bassist, who's now in Moscow, our former bassist, Linkin Park was always the number one.
The band,
the number one band. I was respecting them. I was kind of loving some.
You took a picture.
Yeah, some of
Chester.
the songs. Yeah, we still have a picture.
Holy crap.
Yeah, and that was so. It was also a great evening in terms of we played well. The sound was great, and also Linkin Park obviously played super cool. The sound, you could hear every single whisper, every single note. The sound was crisp and powerful, and the night was just amazing. It's one for the books. And I'd call this gig probably as one of the most remarkable gigs in my life.
I'm not surprised. Oh my God. You've blown me away and I wasn't even there. And the moment we're all waiting for, your own shows. For any listeners that haven't caught one of them, what are they like?
Well, I would say that our live shows are probably the most amazing. I'm extremely proud of our live shows because, I listen to a lot of artists, and for example, one of the bands that made us as musicians, as a couple, is Fall Out Boy. But when we
attended their show in Los Angeles,
there was no energy. There was no soul.
Maybe they were tired. Maybe they were on tour. We don't know, but it was just very boring and dull to see them live. The sound was awesome, obviously. But
Patrick sang his lungs out.
Yeah,
until his lungs gave out.
The energy was missing. And I think about us, we are capable of, if you are tired, or if you are depressed, or if you are in a sad mood, and you're attending one of our shows, it gets you immediately. We turn the mood, we bring the energy, we bring the joyness, and the people start immediately feeling.
It's basically like a therapy session when you come to our shows. And that's what I always tell people. If you guys want the full impact of what's happening right now, you have to come closer. And honestly, without false shyness, I will say this. Remember that video that was viral a while ago when there's the most talented and famous violin player
In the Metro,
playing
New
in
York.
New York Metro,
Yeah.
the most expensive violin in the world. People just pass by. That's what happens to us a lot, I would say. And people just don't understand. They're not used to seeing something so good happening in a small bar in somewhere, and that was partially why we wanted to start working with a label, because
For some bigger crowds.
for
yeah.
not because for our own, like, oh, I want bigger crowds. No, because our
That'd be
songs
nice.
and
That'd
our
be
live
nice.
performance is so good. We actually want to take it to the stage where people would be appreciative of that.
Yeah, and we're
you
also
know?
we're also all about the energy. I mean, technicality, yes, of course. Nika is a very technical singer. Myself, I, I I'm not really after playing
He's
like
being shy.
shredding the solos and playing like a million notes in the second. I'm more about the show itself. I'm more
The
about the
show.
energy and the interaction with the audience. So I love that. So that's what's formed me as a musician, like the interaction, like
Yeah.
jumping and walking back and
And
forth.
having an eye
Yeah.
contact, because we both hate watching musicians who are just focused on their
Or
instruments.
pedal board. Yeah,
Pedal
it's just
boards.
like, come on, guys.
And we also dress up. Like, I want you guys to have fun, not just enjoy the music, which is important as well, right? But I want you to be a part of the show. And for that, I need you involved, all your senses, the visual, the audio, and the kinesthetic. I want you to move your butt, not just stand there and be like, okay, let me check you out there.
It's for your own sake, because like the
Yeah.
more you give to us, the more you get back, and it's like
True.
it's the energy exchange, or whatever it's called. So it's
Yeah.
important,
Yeah.
to be
So we would
participating.
totally recommend anyone who can attend our live show to do that, especially since nowadays it's so hard to get people, disattached from their couches and go somewhere, because everybody's got Netflix.
I love.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so it's really worth it, and we're really hoping to have a few tours booked. Right now we're not in the States, as I said. But we would really, really love to go and open up for some bigger bands to get that opportunity to put our show on bigger stages with the light that our shows deserve, and with the audiences that would be apprehensive of what we have to share with them. And of course, our big dream is to sometime come to the UK, and to Europe. We've never played shows in the UK or in Europe, so that would be our next goal.
Yeah, for sure.
That'd be pretty cool. Pretty cool. And, before we dive into the last couple of questions, then, what's next? What's set in stone? Is there anything you can share with us?
The second part of the record, because as Nika said, we just released the first part, which is called The Inception. So it's supposed to be the second part of the record, and this is what we're working on right now. We have a drummer here in Tashkent who helps me with some drum parts and arrangements, etc. So technology has really made it easy to work remotely, and I'm enjoying the process, to be honest. So it's like having the opportunity to record your new album where you live, not going to the studio, and just then send files to the studio, and then just send files back and forth, AI technologies and whatnot. It's mind-blowing, and I'm enjoying the process. I love being the musician in the 21st century.
I would say for me the most important thing is to get back on track with playing shows. And hopefully our label will help us with that, because for us that was, as I said, the
main goal.
The main goal of partnering with a label to get opportunity to take our performances to the next level.
Right. What stage is the second part of the record at? Is it written? Is it fully recorded? Is it half recorded?
We're not pushing ourselves too hard, to be honest. It's just we're taking our time. And this time we have the privilege of you're working on a song and then you book a practice to go and play it live to see if all the parts match up and come together. And this is what we were lacking last time with the previous record, because we were recording like drums separately. The drummer was located in Moscow and we were in the United States, and so we had to kind of make it quicker and rush a little. So this time we're just taking our time and seeing.
Yeah, because that's not the priority at the moment. We would want to build our audience a little bit more before we actually give them something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Nice. I like it. We'll dive into the last couple of questions. So these are a couple of fun, weird questions, but I'm intrigued to see your answers. The first thing, what are you currently obsessed with? It can be a book, TV, music, anything.
Interesting. Definitely eating.
Right.
There's one dish in Uzbekistan called plov. It's like with meat and maybe some onions, some carrot,
spices.
Yeah. So, and also, the food is delicious here. Also, we started watching Lost. We never watched it, the TV series. So we're kind of binging that
in the beginning right now.
Yeah, and also I'm playing the Assassin's Creed Mirage.
Right.
The latest game. Yeah. So that's what I'm obsessed as of now with.
Cool. I'll have to try find a recipe for that dish and give it a go. Sounds interesting.
It's delicious.
It's somewhat similar to the Turkish pilaf. Even the name is similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not the same, but it's kind of similar.
This is where it's coming from. Yeah.
Every national cuisine has rice in there, right? Yeah. Mexican or
Do you guys have something with rice in your cuisine?
I don't think so, actually. I'm sure if we looked hard enough, there probably is, but most of our national dishes are based on potatoes.
Lovely.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah. I think rice is more like for southern cultures.
Yeah.
It's more for northern cultures. The same in Russia. Peter the First brought in potatoes from Europe.
You're from Netherlands, probably. Taken.
Yeah.
Interesting. The second question. If you had to spend 24 hours locked in a room with any musician from history, who would it be?
Lovely. You go ahead first.
I'd go with Freddie Mercury, I think. Yeah, I think we'd have a lot of fun.
For some reason, I want to say Rachmaninoff. I don't know why, but because probably rockers and the musicians from my field. I get that they are great and brilliant, etc. But to be locked in a room with a classical composer, that would be something I've never really experienced in my life. So probably I'd say Rachmaninoff.
It's a good one. Here's where the weird part comes in. If your band had a superpower, what would it be, and how would you use it on stage?
Oh, I'd be flying 100%.
I'd be not gaining weight, like when you can eat whatever you want and you're still fit.
Right.
That'd be my superpower.
On stage, I pretty much saw Michael Jackson fly with that jetpack.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I would be doing that. I'd be just literally flying. I wouldn't need those straps, the pink ears. I would just be flying all over the place.
That'd be pretty cool. And the final one, so what's your go-to album?
I would say it's wait, what is it called? We had a friend who forgot his favorite band's name, and I always make fun of him, but I did. Well, to justify him a little bit, that was the
death metal
band,
weird logos.
Oh yeah.
So he probably
can't really read them
in the first place. Yeah, well, I was gonna say, is this what is this called? The album, my favorite album by Chunk No Captain Chunk.
I don't remember the title, unfortunately.
I think it's called either Get Lost, Find Yourself. Here we go. Chunk No Captain Chunk.
So this is your final favorite record, right?
Yeah.
Mine would be, oh my God, there's so many.
Do you have another hour? Because that might take a while.
Okay. Let it be Infinity on High by Fall Out Boy.
Yeah. One of my favorite albums as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great record.
Not bad. Good picks there. Listen, guys, I have to say, this was so fun. I've enjoyed it immensely. You guys, you have a great dynamic. You're so fun to chat to.
Thank you. Yeah,
Thanks,
we
man.
had
We
fun
appreciate
as
it.
well. Thank you for having us. And well, hopefully maybe one day we'll meet in person.
Definitely, definitely.
Maybe in
Fingers
Ireland
crossed.
or in the United States, who
Yeah,
knows?
either or I'm happy with.
Can't seem to find the right words to describe what I'm feeling now. It's been said a million times before, but I have never felt so down. Yeah, I know these last years have been hard on all of us. How do I move on from here? How to let go of the past despite all the thoughts that pull me down. I choose to carry on. I choose to not look back. No matter what's going on, I should always stay strong. I choose to carry on, to brush away the tears. The darkest hours right before the dawn. So I'll just wait until the morning sun appears. With everything that I've got, why is it so hard for me to enjoy every day, to always feel happy? Can't get over myself. I have tried so many times. I will clench my teeth, I will find my strength, I will get up one more time, and I'll sing a song every moment I feel down. I choose to carry on. I choose to not look back. No matter what's going on, I should always stay strong. I choose to carry on, to brush away the tears. The darkest hours right before the dawn. So I'll just wait until the morning sun I choose to carry on. I choose to not look back. No matter what's going on, I should always stay strong. I choose to carry on, to brush away the tears. The darkest hours right before the dawn. So I'll just wait until the morning sun appears. I choose to carry the darkest hours right before the dawn. So I'll just wait until the morning sun appears.
Hey guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. And if you're interested in signing up to Band Builder Academy, use the link in the show notes below and enter the code CONCERTS and you'll receive 10% off. So, until next time, keep rocking.
Hey, what are you guys still doing here? The show's over. It's over. You can go home. Go on. We'll see you next time. We'll be here. Bye.